Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to Low Modules Made Simple and Comprehensive. I am Negrikosa. I would like to welcome you guys to the second semester of 2020. If this is your first time in here, please click on the red text written subscribe and also that bell icon so that you can get a notification whenever there's a new video in the house. Subscribing saves us from losing the link and it does not cost any money at all. So we have nothing to lose but more to gain. Today I would like us to do a CRW, the first assignment of the second semester. Second semester assignment number 1. Do not forget to write your unique number the unique number of this assignment and your student number as well, and also include the honesty declaration form. Okay, without any waste of time, let us get on with it. You must read and understand study units 1 to 3 of your CRW 1501 study guide before attempting to answer this assignment. Question 1. Briefly explain whether the following charge meets the requirements of the principle of legality. Parliament enacts new legislation providing that it is a crime if a person does not behave appropriately in public. Okay, the first thing that I think we must do here is to first find out what is the principle of legality. We need to first understand what is meant by the words principle of legality. So after that, we can be able to try and answer our question, because we cannot answer something that we do not understand. We first need to comprehend what we are dealing with so that we can be able to get on with our answers. Okay, let's get to our study guide. I will start on page 14, where it says the concept of legality, because I want us to understand clearly so that we avoid confusion and all that. In order to determine whether a person is criminally liable, the first question that has to be asked is whether the conduct allegedly committed by such a person is recognized by the law as a crime. Certain conduct could be wrong from a moral or a religious point of view, but may not be prohibited by law. Moreover, even if the conduct is prohibited by law, it may still not be a crime. For example, where X breached the terms of a contract that she had entered into with Y, X may be liable for breach of contract, which is a civil action but not a crime. Similarly, where X built a wall on her property which is in contravention of local building regulations, X has not committed a crime but has contravened the local building code. Only if certain conduct is defined by the law as a crime can there be any question of criminal liability for this conduct. This is the basis of the principle of legality. This is why I wanted to start here, because the basis of the principle of legality is here. It is expressed in the maxim, no crime will exist without a law. Yes. Okay, let us get to the definition of principle of legality. An accused may not be convicted of a crime unless the type of conduct which he or she is charged has been recognized by the law as a crime. An accused may not be convicted of a crime in clear terms. Huh? Yeah. C. An accused may not be convicted of a crime before the conduct took place. An accused may not be convicted of a crime without it being necessary to interpret the words in the definition of the crime broadly in order to cover the accused's conduct, and if convicted, not be sentenced unless the sentence also complies with four requirements set out above. Yes. Okay. So now we get to the rules or content of the principle of legality. If the principle of legality is analyzed closely, we find that it contains the following rules. A court can convict and punish an accused for a crime only if the conduct is recognized by the law, statutory or common law, as a crime. In other words, courts cannot create new crimes. The conduct must also have some penalty attached to its commission. The conduct of the accused person must have been recognized as a crime at the time of its commission. This rule is referred to as the prohibition on retrospectivity and is confirmed as part of South African law by virtue of its inclusion in the South African Constitution. 3. Crimes have to be defined in clear and precise language. In other words, crimes cannot be defined vaguely. A court of law must interpret the wording in the definition of a crime strictly or narrowly. This rule applies to both common law and statutory crimes. Once an accused person has been found guilty, the above four rules also have to apply to sentencing. The principle of legality in punishment. Okay, that is not necessary. Okay, I am sure that now you have found your answer. Our answer has to be like this. Okay, let's go back to our question. I am repeating the question again. Briefly explain whether the following charge meets the requirements of the principle of legality. Parliament enacts new legislation providing that it is a crime if a person does not behave appropriately in public. Okay, our answer should be like this. The charge does not meet the requirements of principle of legality because it is more of a moral than an act. Okay, guys, before I forget, you do not have to copy down exactly as it is written on the study guide. Just try to avoid plagiarism, and you also need to write this source, your reference. You need to reference this study guide. Our answer should be in this format, but do not write what I am saying. Just take this as guidance and write it on your own words. The following charge does not meet the requirements of the principle of legality because the definition of the principle of legality states that an accused may not be convicted of a crime without it being necessary to interpret the words in the definition of the crime broadly in order to cover the accused's conduct. It further says, okay, in our question here, the person behaves inappropriately in public. The conduct is not defined in clear and precise language. Actually, the conduct is unclear or vague. It further says that a court of law must interpret the wording in the definition of the crime strictly or narrowly, which means that the conduct must be explained. It must be stated exactly what does behaving inappropriately means. What exactly does it mean when a person does not behave appropriately in public? So this simply means that the terms of behaving appropriately in public must be stated, and as well as the terms of behaving inappropriately must also be stated, because in number 3 there, let me just try to highlight it. English. Sorry. I guys in like technology in. Okay, this is where our answer is, ne? Mm, the crimes have to be defined in clear and precise language, which means that it must be stated clearly what is behaving inappropriately. You know, what do they mean when they say a person cannot behave inappropriately? Guys, inappropriately is the opposite of appropriate. So do not get confused. Um, a court of law must interpret the wording in the definition of a crime strictly or narrowly. This also support the statement that says it must be stated exactly or it must be explained, you know, in clearly. What do they mean when they say a person must not behave inappropriate? You know, yeah. I think I've explained enough. So question number one, the answer is on page 15, but I started reading from page 14 because I wanted you to get the clear meaning. You know, I wanted you to understand what we are talking about when we talk about the principle of legality. It would be very useless of me to give out the answer while you do not understand, you know. Yeah, so let's get to our second question. Question 2. Briefly explain the meaning of the requirement that the act must be a human act. On page 19 of our study guide, this is where I found our answer. It says, act must be a human act or omission. The act must be a human act. In other words, the perpetrator of the act must be a human being. In ancient societies and during the Middle Ages, animals and even inanimate objects such as beams that fell on people's heads were sometimes tried and punished, but this cannot happen today in South African or any other modern legal system. A human being can, however, be punished if he commits a crime through the agency of an animal. For example, where he urges his dog to bite someone. Okay, there we have our answer in black and white. The only thing that you need to do is try to explain this, just try to summarize it as short as you can, and try to put it in your own words. Do not copy from the study guide. You can simply say, guys, do not plagiarize what I'm saying. I'm only giving you an example. Um, it means that the perpetrator of the act must be a human being. Since the South African justice system does not consider animals to be criminal liable, however, in case where a person uses an animal to inflict harm or injury to another, the person responsible may be punished. An example is in a case where a person unjustifiably instigates a dog to attack another, causing harm. Um, I said this is on page 19, and we do not copy directly from the study guide. We use summaries and try to answer the questions and also reference. Okay, let's get to our last question. This assignment is actually short, you know. The third question. Explain what you understand by the theory of novus actus interveniens and include an example in your answer. Okay, let us visit our study guide. Page 36 of our study guide says novus actus interveniens. This expression means new intervening event. It is sorry and is used to indicate that between X's initial act and the ultimate death of Y, another event which has broken the chain of causation has taken place, preventing us from regarding X's act as the cause of Y's death. Examples: X inflicts a non-lethal wound on Y's head. Y is taken to hospital by ambulance. On the way, the on the way to hospital, owing to the gross negligence of the ambulance driver, the ambulance is involved in an accident in which Y is killed, or alternatively, Y is fatally struck by lightning right in front of the hospital entrance. The second example: X administers a poison to Y that will slowly kill her. Shortly thereafter, Z, who also bears a grudge against Y and acts completely independently of X, shoots Y, killing her. It is then Z's act and not that of X that is the cause of Y's death. I guess, guys, these Y's and Z's and X's, I can go. Um, let us continue. Um, Some authorities regard legal causation as consisting in the absence of a novus ictus intervenes. Formulated more completely according to this approach, X's act is regarded in law as the cause of Y's death if it is a factual cause of the death and there is no novus ictus intervenes between X's act and Y's death. Unfortunately, our case law contains no precise description of the requirements with which an act must comply to qualify as a novus ictus or novus causa. um, in our view, the following definition of a novus ictus intervenes is a fair reflection of that which our courts understand by this concept. An act is a occurrence in a like what am I saying? An act an act is a novus ictus intervenes if it constitutes an unexpected, abnormal, or unusual occurrence. In other words, an occurrence that, according to general human experience, deviates from the normal course of events or that cannot be regarded as a probable result of X's act. Okay, guys, here we need to explain or state what we understand by this Latin term here, novus ictus intervenes. I myself um, understand that it is an independent event which, after the wrongdoer's act has been concluded, either caused or contributed to the consequences concerned. Um, I am trying to say that, okay, let me just read the first paragraph here. It says this expression means new intervening event and is used to indicate that between X's initial act and the ultimate of Y, and the ultimate death of Y, another event which has broken the chain of causation has taken place, preventing us from regarding X's act as the cause of Y's death. This is very simple. It is straightforward. Here they are trying to explain that what can I say? Hey guys, Minaville, I don't know how to explain this because I think that it is very much straightforward. Um, okay, hey guys, this one is difficult for me to explain, but I understand it and I think you understand it too because it's quite simple and straightforward. I just don't know how to put it in words, you know. It says here, the novus ictus interveniens, ne? It is an act or an what? Okay, um, yeah, it is an act that um, comes in between, you know. It intervenes, it gets in between of an event, you know. um, like the example that we have been given here. um, let's say you yourself, you hit someone, maybe you're somewhere else enjoying yourself, drinking beer and all that, then you get into a conflict with someone else, then you um, break a bottle on someone's head, then on their way to the hospital, um, they they let's say maybe they're driving in an ambulance. um, that ambulance um, gets into a very tragic accident, and that person dies, you know. um, that person wasn't killed by you, but the person was killed by the accident that has taken place. So the accident is the novus ictus intervenes. It is an act that has intervened. The person was on their way to the hospital because you yourself, you broke a bottle on their head. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Um, yeah. Um, so okay. Let us look at the second example. There, you yourself again. You tried to poison someone. Maybe try to poison me, and like you don't even try. You put poison in my food. Um, then I get into a conflict with someone else, and that person shoots me. You did not kill me. I did not die from the poison, but I I died because someone has shot me. But you were the first person who tried to kill me. You know? Yeah. So I don't know how to explain it, but I just think that it is straightforward on this study guide and these examples here. So just try to use this here, and try to put it in your own words and summarize it. Then you can also get to your own example. You know, you do not have to copy this example here. There are many examples. Just try to get your own example, but you can also write these examples here, but just try to twist them, and also do not forget to reference. Yeah, I think that's all that we have here. I have also written the second the second assignment, um, but I don't think it will be wise if I can include it here. But if you are in a hurry, you know what I can do? I can just give you the page numbers where to find them. But I am also going to make a video explaining as I am doing here, a specific video for assignment number 2. But I know that there are some of you who are in a hurry to complete their assignments and you are able to write them by yourselves. I'm just going to give you the page numbers so that you can be able to go through them and write your assignments. Okay, um second assignment. I don't know how to do this, you know, but I think I just have to let it be. But it's okay. I am not going to I'm just going to you're going to do everything yourself. um Question number 1, the answer is 4, is found on page 4. Question number 2, the answer is 1, the answer is found on page 19 and page 6. Question number 3, the answer is 1, page 15. Question number 4, 3, page 19 and 22. 5, 3, page 29. but I am also going to make a specific video for the second assignment. I will show everything on the screen like I am doing right now, explain where I can, and do all those things. So but for now, yeah, let's just end our video here. Guys, take care of yourself, stay indoors, wash your hands, wear your mask, do everything that you can so that you can be able to be safe. I do not wish to lose any of you. I want to be with you. Yeah, that's all from me to you. Take care and have a good. What if you watch this during the day? Can I say a good night? Bye.